you have 570,000 followers across platforms. What was this impulse? Were you like, oh, I'm wanting to do this, but I'm going to make videos of it now too?
My grandmother always wanted me to sew, and I was like, that could be an idea. And you know what? This is perfect. And I'm so happy about this, doing this wonderful creative stuff, and people love it, and I can earn a lot of money from that.
So I want to talk about all the different ways you make money.
The first money I actually earned was from YouTube AdSense. I have written 2 books. Sometimes I do workshops and coachings, AdSense, partnerships, and affiliate links. For me, it's very important that the brand matches my content. It's always stuff that I really like.
So it's sticking to those values that makes people trust you, that makes advertisers want to advertise with you, right?
Yeah, true.
Welcome back to the Creator Spotlight Podcast. My name is Francis Zierer, and today we are speaking with Nastja Mohren, known to our followers as DIY Eule, which means owl in English. Nastja is a sewing creator from Berlin with over 570,000 across platforms, especially on YouTube, making her certainly one of the biggest sewing creators in the German-speaking world and likely one of the bigger creators, period, in that world. She makes her living primarily through advertisements, YouTube AdSense, Google AdSense, and her own brand partnerships, as well as a few other revenue streams. This was a really good conversation. Nastja has been doing this work for 11 years, about 7 of which have been full-time ever since 4 years in. Her income as a creator overtook her income from her full-time job, where she worked in music marketing. Really good conversation. Hope you enjoy. And I would like to thank Google AdSense for partnering with us on this video. So you went full-time with DIY Eule in 2018 after, I believe, 4 years of working on it on the side. You've always been prolific. What, at that point, 4 years into working on it, allowed or enabled you to pursue this full-time?
I've actually started in 2015, so it has been like 3.5 years. Mm-hmm. And I've always had like a full-time job. And I was doing YouTube on side as, my hobby kind of thing. But I had some brand partnerships by then, and it just started to getting more and more and more. And I had my 40 hours job. And at that point, the work for DIY Eule exceeded the other work, like hour-wise and money-wise. So that was the point I was like, I should change something, because I was working 40 hours and then on top more than 40 hours even for DIY Eule. So I was like basically working all day and night. And this was the point when my hobby transformed into my new career. And then I had to quit my job and make this full time.
Was that a hard decision? Which I ask in that, like, I've talked to a couple people. I'm thinking of one person I spoke to this summer who, like, I don't know if his work as a creator makes him more money than his full-time job did, but like it's something that's come up with people multiple times where it's like, I'm doing good with this, but like I'm not. It's nice to have the security of a full-time job. Was it a tough decision?
I was scared, actually. So I've never wanted to be self-employed. My mother has always been self-employed. My father has always been self-employed, and it kind of goes to my family. And now I just see that I'm made for being self-employed, but I didn't see it back then. I know from my family that there can be hard times, and but I learned a lot from that. So I was always scared of being self-employed and thought it's so nice to be employed, to have your securities and everything. But yeah, then I was like, they kicked me off of one company that I really loved my job there, but the company didn't do so well in the end, so it went down and was like in the the last row to go, and like there were some people left, like one more year, but I had to leave 1 year earlier, and it was like, how could they do that? And I loved the job, and I thought I was secure, and then I realized I am not that secure there in the end. So then I worked at a creative agency for half a year, and in Germany, I don't know whether that's everywhere. In Germany, we normally have these contracts that you're just there for testing, like for half a year, and then they give you like an unlimited contract.
Real quick, in Germany, I understand it's very hard to fire people. So it's like that's kind of the beginning contract, and then
but if the company goes down, you can do that actually. So it is, but it's also, they also give you like a package of money with it. So we want to fire you. Is that okay? Like it works like this in Germany. So, I'm like, okay. So that was also like, I had basically 3 months of full salary without having to go to my job. And that was also 3 months that I could already work full time as DIY Eule, but I was still looking for a new job. And I found the job in the agency and I really loved that job as well. But in like I did 3 months being self-employed with having the salary from my old job, then starting the new job and then realizing, okay, it's getting too much. And after half the year of the test phase of the new contract, I was saying, okay, I don't want the unlimited content. I'm stopping here and being self-employed now. And I was also talking to my mom back then because she had all this through, and it's like, I think I want to be self-employed. And she stood behind me. I was like, yeah, do it. I mean, I'm doing it. Your father did it. And like most of our family does it. And my husband also was behind me like, yeah, you should do it. So I started it. And also the company I was leaving from, they said, we're very sad to see you leave. If anything doesn't work out, you can come back anytime. So that was good to know.
Yeah. You were in a very good, safe situation. I feel you too on the, all of my immediate family is also self-employed. So I feel you on that. Like, what are we doing? Anyways, okay. So I want to talk about all the different ways you make money. You're mentioning brand partnerships right then. I believe, let me know what I'm missing, but I know you make money through YouTube AdSense, Google AdSense, brand deals across your platforms. And do you sell your sewing patterns or are they free?
They're free for the community. And it is like I always want the content to be free for my community. Like, I want the creativity to be accessible for everyone. They have to deal, like my community then has to deal with the ads, but they're always content related. And the first money I actually earned was from YouTube AdSense. So I was able to monetize my channel after, I think, 4 or 5 months back then. Like I started more than 11 years ago with the channel. And then after 4 or 5 months, I was able to monetize my channel. It was very little I earned back then, but it was something. And this is like the stable, it grew and grew. And this is like the stable amount of money that comes in every month, like from YouTube AdSense. And then in 2018, I also started the blog because I could park my sewing patterns there for the community to download. Before that, I did that via like a Google Drive link, but that wasn't really professional. So I thought like a website would be nice, and then also to gather everything there. And I also have YouTube AdSense on the blog, so that comes on
the blog.
Yeah, Google AdSense on the blog and Google AdSense on YouTube. So this is like the two AdSense parts. Then I have the brand partnerships, which are nowadays the biggest part of my income, but they're varying. Like in Q4, like right now, I have a lot of brand partnerships, but in summer it's a bit less. It varies throughout the year. I also do a lot of affiliate linking, which works really well. I'm on different platforms, so I can recommend the products I use just by the product and not like doing specific brand partnerships. So also on Instagram stories, I can share just random stuff I use as a private person. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like in my daily life, that's better.
More lifestyle content.
Lifestyle stuff. Yeah, not only about DIY and sewing. So also like the other day, I showed like a brand new lamp that I have that does this kind of fancy, colorful light, and people went crazy over it. So I can share this, and this is like affiliate link. It works really well. I have written 2 books about sewing, so this was also an income stream.
When did you publish them, real quickly?
I wrote the first book right after I got fully self-employed. So it was published in 2000. It was still published in 2018, I think, and the second book was 2020. Like it was about sewing for babies and kids and mom, because I was pregnant in 2019, and that's also one thing I can really do very well, to take the topics of my life and turn them into content. So back then I was pregnant, I was expecting a baby, so I was sewing a lot of baby cloth and accessory for being pregnant, and I made a book from that, and that went really well. And also sometimes I do workshops and coachings. And sometimes it has been rare in the recent past, but sometimes I do external productions, like for DIY companies, like if they need videos or photos for their products, just for their channels. So I sometimes do that as well.
Oh, okay. So that would be like almost like doing a brand partnership, but it's not through you. You're then like just the production agent.
Yeah,
for the brand.
basically. Yeah. Or it's also like me with my face, but on their YouTube channel.
Yes,
things like
they're
that.
Not buying your audience. Yeah. Okay, so I've got it starts with YouTube AdSense, and then you introduce Google AdSense, and then brand deals, and then books, and then workshops, coaching, and external production. So that's
and affiliate links.
And affiliate links. Oh my god, I missed that as well. Okay, perfect. Okay, so that's really, that's a thriving ecosystem. These 7 or so different revenue streams. Can you paint me a bit of a picture of the overall pie and the approximate percentages each one makes up?
That really varies month by month, because for affiliate linking, I'm doing a lot with Amazon. So if there's like Black Week, this is the income stream for me. But like for December, it's more like brand partnerships, because everyone is buying stuff for Christmas. And in summer, maybe both of them are low, so it's more like Google AdSense. So it really varies throughout the year. And also, like if I have like a sewing pattern that goes kind of viral, a lot of people are on my vlog, so I earn more through the blog and through YouTube. But if I do like a big brand corporation, it's very like the most. It's very equally spread, I'd say, throughout the year.
Throughout the year, okay.
Between AdSense partnerships and affiliate links.
Okay.
Hi there, my name's Tom, and I'm the producer here on Creator Spotlight. I'm just interrupting really quickly to say that statistically, if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a 75% chance that you're not actually subscribed to the YouTube channel yet. A lot of you may be watching this on a second monitor, or you're commuting to work, and some of you are even watching on your TV. So it might not be super convenient right now, but when it is, it'd mean a lot to us if you did subscribe, and we'll repay the favor by continuing to try our best at improving the show every week. Thank you, and back to the episode with Nastja. Subscribe.
Let's talk about brand deals a little bit. So I was looking at your Instagram, and in the past 7 days, as we record, you've posted 10 times, and 9 out of the 10 are brand partnerships with, I believe, 5 different brands or products. Nine posts.
Welcome to Q4.
Yeah, welcome to Q4. Which, as you were saying, like maybe in Q2 or Q1, this would be less. But that really impressed me, because it's all very well integrated too, and like. Perhaps it's a function of me not speaking German well, that I can't necessarily read all the copy or understand what you're saying in the videos, right? But it all seemed very just like, this is just your normal content. It's all integrated very well.
Yeah.
Tell me about the life cycle of a brand deal for you. Where are they coming from? And then like, how do they happen from okay, we first started talking to now it's published?
Yeah. So normally the brand reaches out to me. I'm hardly ever doing pitches. Like sometimes, but very rarely. Normally, the brand reaches out to me, and now I'm at a standing that I can really choose whom I'm working with and like together with, and whom I'm not working with. And a lot of them are like very long cooperations and long partnerships. So like you've probably seen I've working with Edding, which is like a very well-known brand in Germany for permanent markers. It's like the German Sharpie. And I've been working with them for years. So like at the beginning of the year, we talk about their main marketing products and what they want to talk about the year. And then I'm coming up with ideas how I could integrate them. And this is how it normally works. Like the brand says, like, we have this and this product. And then we'll see, like, okay, what is the scope? What do you just want like an Instagram story shout out, or do you want like the whole package, including YouTube and the blog, Pinterest, and so on? Or do you want something completely else, like a workshop? So we talk about the scope, and then we talk about the ideas. And then it goes into production. And after that, I send them over my material, and they, like, for approval. And they sometimes have like minor details that have to be changed. There've never been anything like, oh no, we don't like that, or like very big changes. So it's always very like minor changes. And then it goes live. And the good thing is really that I can choose whom I'm working with, and that
when did you earn that right? Like, when did it start to be like, oh, I'm not having to go out and look, and now people are really coming to me?
It has been like that ever since, kind of, because when I started, like 11 years ago, that was the moment the first brands started like these brand partnerships. Back then, most of the stuff was unpaid, so you were just paid with products. But it was like the first brand partnership I asked for. Like I asked them, like, they had the kit for sewing like a band, like a strap for the camera, and I really liked the kit, and so I asked them, like, would you send me one of your kits, and I could do a YouTube video about that. That was like the first brand partnership. But there was like 3 or 4 months being on YouTube. But shortly after, like the first fabric store asked me for a brand deal, and they asked me like, okay, cool, that like we talked about the idea, and they said, cool, like, and how much would that cost us? And I was like, yeah, I don't know. So I was just basically just putting on a number, and they said, okay, cool, that's really cheap. And I was like, damn. So this is how it started. Now it goes way more professional, of course. But, you know, you have to start somewhere. And we were like only very few creators back then. So no one had experience in that. So we were all just starting like that. And there was no one to ask, basically. So we were just starting. And yeah, for me, it's very important that the brand matches my content. So I always, that was what you were saying. I always try to integrate the product into the content I'm making. Normally that's very easy because I have mainly DIY brands, that I'm cooperating with, like the sewing machines or the pens that I was talking about.
You use a lot of products.
I am using a lot of products. Yeah, true. But also I have partnerships with like small labels who do patents and stuff. So that's like, it is a product in the end. But yeah, it's like there's a lot of things that I can advertise, and that it's always stuff that I really like. So it also happens that they send me stuff and I'm like, I'm not convinced, so let's maybe not do that.
But that's good that you have that like ability to do that. Because it's sticking to those values that makes people trust you, that makes advertisers want to advertise with you, right?
Yeah, true.
So you were saying when we spoke previously, I mean, we've been talking about how you started 11 years ago, and looking back, I mean, you've been very prolific. I think you have like, it's over 1,400 videos on your YouTube channel over the last 11 years. But you told me that when you started, it was, correct me if I'm wrong at all, but it was that your grandmother, your Oma, had given you a sewing machine, and you were looking up YouTube videos to learn, and you saw that there were not that many, at least in German. This was, you know, still much earlier. This was less than 10 years into YouTube's life cycle. Now we're 20 years in. And anyways, you see that there's not that many sewing creators working in German, and you say, maybe I could do this. But you're also learning to sew. So I'm curious of like, what was this impulse where you like had the confidence of like, oh, I'm learning to do this, but I'm going to make videos of it now too?
Yeah. Well, I had like, back then I had the initial wish already that I wanted to have a YouTube channel. So like my background is more music related. I come like from a musical background. I wanted to be a musician. That didn't quite work out. And then, I decided, okay, I want to work in music marketing. I worked at Universal Music, at Deutsche Grammophon, so for the classic label. And I was responsible for the YouTube channel there, for the community management. I got the videos from the video producers. I was uploading them, scheduling them, doing the info box and blah, blah, blah. I really liked that. And beforehand, I did like a marketing workshop at one of the Berlin universities here. And I wrote a case study about YouTube. And this is where like the fire comes from. So I was like, oh yeah, I really want to do that. I want to do like the idea, the scripting, the filming, the editing, not necessarily being in front of the camera, but like doing the whole idea of the channel. But I never really had an idea what it should be about, because I really wanted to have like a niche or a topic. I didn't want it to be about my life and just me as a person, because like personal vlogs was a thing back then starting. But I didn't want this to be that personal. I just wanted to have a topic to talk about. And I started actually with crocheting because I was crocheting a lot back then. But it was like very hard to film because I had like a big camera already. I was also like into camera and taking pictures manually and stuff. So I had this big camera, digital camera, but it was really hard to film because they didn't have these flippable displays yet. And they didn't have autofocus. So I was always like steadily moving out of the picture and like being unsharp and everything. So it was a pain to edit. I was like, okay, I cannot do that. And then my grandmother always wanted me to sew. And I was like, but sewing machine, it's so complicated and nah. And then she just bought me like a very cheap one from a discounter and gave that to me for Christmas. And I was like, here's your sewing machine. And then, as you said, she taught me how to use it like for half an hour in her kitchen, basically just how to thread it, how to go backward and forward, and what the buttons about. And that was it. She was like, you go and learn the rest. So I was like going on YouTube, and there were like 3, 4, maybe 5 channels, but not more in German. And I was like, that could be an idea. And you know what? Like the sewing machine and the camera, I always had like a stable, like they're both stable.
Yeah.
The sewing machine would not move out of the picture. I don't need to refocus. It's like, this is perfect. So I started sewing, and then 5 months later, there was my first YouTube video. So I thought, this could be something. I'm just starting. I'm just trying. And I knew that if I would start something, I want to be in there with my face from the beginning on. So back then it was kind of common to, like, if you start, you would just show your hands and just do like, you hear yourself and see your hands, but you wouldn't see the person. But I always wanted this to be with my face in it. So I started him, and my family was also, you don't want to be on the internet. Is that a good idea? It's like, yeah. It's just sewing. It's not about me personally. I'm not talking about anything personally like relevant for like a future job or anything. Yeah. So it's probably going to be all right. And let's see if someone even watches it. And if I don't like it, I can still delete it. Mm-hmm. Back then you could do that. Yeah. Like delete something from the internet. It was kind of possible.
I like to say that like anything you put on the internet now, it's like microplastics, right? Like it's never going to go away.
Yeah.
Have you ever wished advertisers would come find you for a change? Google AdSense makes that dream a lucrative reality. By tapping into one of the largest global ad networks, your content can now connect with millions of advertisers competing to reach your audience. That means your ad space goes to the highest and most relevant bidder every time. Google AdSense is built so you stay in control, your readers get quality ads, and your revenue keeps growing. Just ask Nastja, or of Life and Lisa, a North Virginia blogger who said, I'm able to show ads from advertisers I never would have connected with otherwise. That's because Google AdSense gives you smarter ads and better earnings with no extra work. Learn how you can maximize your earnings with AdSense at goo.gle/earn-with-AdSense. That's goo.gle/earn-with-AdSense. There's some other stuff I want to get back to on community, but we should talk about the different platforms in your following. So as we record, you have 441,000 followers or subscribers across at least 4 platforms, which is 242,000 on YouTube, 138,000 on Instagram, 125,000 on Pinterest, and 36,000 on Facebook. I'm guessing that
TikTok.
order.
There's also
TikTok as well. How could I not check TikTok? Let me just for the.
But it's not that many.
Oh, it's not that many. Let me see right now, just for the to have the facts here. So on TikTok, you have 29.1K followers. So you actually have a total of 570,000 followers across platforms. How could I miss that one? I'm guessing though that order from YouTube to Instagram to Pinterest to Facebook to TikTok, which is most to least following, that's probably the order of importance each plays to your work. Yeah.
Yeah, even though I'm not doing anything on Facebook anymore. I skipped Facebook 3, 4, 5 years ago. Yeah, but I'm thinking about going back because my target group is a lot on Facebook, and it's good like for groups and stuff. So I'm thinking about maybe getting back on Facebook next year, but only if I'm talking about to a person now who might get like kind of my assistant, so to say. So if I can employ her, that's a big step. But if I do, we will probably relaunch Facebook, and then this is like, because you really need someone to monitor Facebook, because Facebook is like the nasty giant.
Before we get into specific things on any of these platforms, the other platform, right, is your blog, which obviously there's no public follower count, public traffic count there. Tell me again, like when you introduced this and why you introduced it. It was as a place specifically to hold your patterns.
Yeah, that was the idea. It was actually in 2000. Actually, actually, it was a brand partnership because I always had the idea of having a blog, and to have like a place where my patterns could be, for like to have proper download links. But I never really started it. And then there was like this brand approaching me saying, we're doing websites and you can create websites on our platform. Do you want to do a brand partnership? And that was actually also the moment when I was like getting fully self-employed and was like, this might integrate really well into a vlog about me getting fully self-employed. And a big news, I'm also starting a blog where you can now download my patterns because I want to be more professional. So this is like how this turned into the website. And this is when I started. But it's I really wanted to have a place that you could Google easier. Like nowadays, you can like Google for Instagram stuff. You find stuff easier.
Yeah, it comes up.
But back then it was really hard. Like as also for YouTube, YouTube wasn't that highly ranked on Google. So I really wanted to have like an SEO centered piece where I could just gather all the things around one project so that there could be like the embedded YouTube video, there could be the YouTube, the sewing pattern, and if there was a brand partnership, also a direct link to the brand. So yeah, to like gather everything in one blog post. That was the idea.
So you monetize there through Google AdSense, always kind of passive income coming in. Obviously, to do that, to monetize, you need traffic coming in. Where is the traffic mostly coming from? Is it as in like, yes, it's people Googling you, but do you think it's people from your YouTube channel, from your Instagram? Where does most of the traffic come to on your blog that then allows you to monetize there?
That depends on how well the content is. Like for new content, it's mainly they come from Instagram because I directly link to the blog, or from YouTube, especially if there's like a sewing pattern. Some years ago, Pinterest was very important, like for the long-term visitors. It has decreased over the last years because Pinterest is kind of changing and it's kind of very hard for the viewers to click out of Pinterest. It always gets more and more hidden to get out of the platform. So the clicks out of Pinterest also decreases. But it used to be very important some years ago. Nowadays, like for the long-term viewers, like for older content, they mainly come from Google.
Okay. Actually, I'd love if you could speak a little bit more about Pinterest, because I don't use it personally, and I haven't really spoken to anybody about how they use it. Any creators about how they use it in their work. Tell me a little bit more about what its purpose used to be and how that's changed.
Yeah. So Pinterest is basically like search engine for pictures. It used to be only for pictures, and like a year ago or something, they introduced videos, I think in the US a bit earlier. But now you can also have videos there. And it was just so good for like interior design, DIY ideas. You were just searching stuff.
So you were using it as a consumer.
Yeah,
right?
I'm still using it.
Yeah.
So I'm still using it for inspiration. That's also why I'm still posting on it, because I'm still using it, for inspiration, you see all these ideas, and there's like so many ideas, and then your brain goes like, boom, and you have like your own ideas and you develop them, and it's really cool. And you have this pin boards where you could just gather your ideas. So I really like the idea. But it's also, it's like so much stuff they have on. And then now they have this automation, and I also have it that you automatically publish your Instagram feed on Pinterest, which doesn't make so much sense because you write like the info box, you write it totally different on Instagram because you want people to do things, to comment and stuff. And on Pinterest, it's more like SEO. So it would be like, it wouldn't be like comment now, but just like click to have more information.
You have to do more. They think it's convenient, but you really have to do more work in the end still.
Yeah, but I'm still doing the automations and the automatically published content pieces from Instagram. They do not perform at all. But if I use the same content pieces and make them little bit more Pinterestable and do the description more like Pinterest, it works better, but it decreased over the years. Also, the pins sometimes take a long time to evolve. So sometimes they do not have any clicks or views in the first month, and then they start growing. It's really really weird. And also now they have a lot of ads on Pinterest. Like it's really a lot, and they used to be very gross ads and bad ads, and I had like a lot of ads for alcohol, and it's like I'm not even drinking alcohol and stuff, or like for weight losing and things like that, and things that really distract me from the purpose I'm being there, like for having creative input. And I understand that the platform needs ads and stuff, but it's just too much, I think. And it's like I have like this, like all the pictures and ideas, and like at least half of it is sponsored. And that's I mean, back in the blog, right? You're using Google AdSense, which you can pick. You can like put restrictions on what does not or does come in to the ads on your website, right? Yeah, and it also it works better. Like on Pinterest, like some of the ads are really nice. They have like colorful, I like colorful stuff. So they sometimes show me colorful stuff that I really like, and then it's these drop shipping shops from China and stuff. So it's like, I don't know. And
the whole thing is DIY. You don't want drop ship stuff.
Yeah. And on my, if I go on my blog and I see the ads there, I have for me. I see like fabric stores and like also like a lot of the brands I'm working with, like having their ads automatically on my blog. That's really nice. So I think the ads fit more the target audience, and that's really nice. Also, I started with a different ad provider
on your blog,
on my blog,
versus Google AdSense.
Yeah, I had there was one integrated in the platform, and you were also able to earn money from it. It was very, very little. And they had so many really gross ads, like with all these pimples that you see, and it's like, I don't want this to be in between my content, Yeah. I just want the ads to match my content and to match the vibes. I mean, they are targeting the viewers, so obviously my ads match my ecosystem. But I hope it's similar for the ones visiting my blog.
One more thing on Google AdSense versus YouTube AdSense. A lot of the people I speak to on here are creators who are using YouTube, so I think they're quite used to the YouTube AdSense ecosystem and like the user experience of that. Can you tell me a little bit about the Google AdSense experience for websites, in as much as it differs from the YouTube AdSense experience on YouTube?
Well, that's like, you can choose where to put it, and you can also exclude different kinds of topics. So I excluded like political stuff and drugs and alcohol, of course. And religious ads and stuff. So you can choose, and you can also choose like how often ads are displayed, like also these like big ones that go over the whole page, how often or how long after someone has visited your blog and where they are. And also what I really like is that you can define spaces where you do not want to be any ads. So that's really nice. And you can also exclude different pages from ads at all. So like if say like there's a brand partner who says like we don't want to be any ads on the blog because maybe there's a competitor who's doing like Google AdSense campaign, and then they're having their ads on my sponsored post. That wouldn't be that nice. I had that once. So they had to pay me for not having ads on the blog. So that was like,
well, then your fee goes up.
Yeah. Yeah. I have this as an option also on YouTube, but that was only booked once, I think. So they can have the YouTube video without any ads, but that's just rarely booked.
Let's take it back to YouTube then. So you upload every Tuesday at noon. Like I said, you have over 1,400 videos in the last 11 years.
And every first Sunday of the month.
And every first, okay. So that's at
the news
least
show.
5 a month, basically.
Yeah.
Wow, every first Sunday.
Long form.
What? Okay. Why?
So like shorts would be daily, but long form is like every
shorts
Tuesday.
daily, and then your long forms are they're like 10 to 20 minutes depending on the topic, right?
Yeah.
So why Tuesday at noon and every first Sunday?
Tuesday noon is totally random. It was just I knew when I started, because I had this like marketing background, and I knew that consistency is king. So I tried to have a video out every week. And the first video I uploaded was randomly a Tuesday at 12 o'clock. So I was like, try to keep this.
Wait. You've been doing every Tuesday at noon for 11 years then?
No, in the beginning I couldn't do every Tuesday.
Okay.
So it was like an internal, like the internal rhythm. And then like after a year or something, I made it public and said, okay, I want to try doing every Tuesday. I also had times when I did more. Then I had like every Tuesday, and then I had every second Saturday every second Saturday. Because there was like a special format about fabric types. So every second Saturday there was like one of this one video of the series. And there was also like I was also doing like once a month on a brand partner YouTube channel. I was also doing videos there. And then I got a child and I couldn't do that much anymore. So now it's so now I do the weekly videos, and I try to do like one of the Tuesdays a month would be a live stream, because it's not that much of production effort then. And then on top, like for almost 4 years now, I'm doing like every first Sunday is like a news show. So it's Nastja's Näh News. So it's like Nastja's sewing news. And it's everything about the bubble, like new fabrics, new sewing gadgets, new books and stuff. And it's basically just an ad format. So it's like a brand, like several brands can book into the format, and I'm just presenting their products, but I'm also like presenting stuff that I see, and people love it. It's the most loved format that I'm doing. So I'm sitting here, with a blazer and like my things, and like I'm reading the news. I take it very seriously. So it's and we always have different categories. So there's headlines, events, the gadget of the month, the sewing pattern of the month. It's always the same categories. And people love it so much, and it's booked really well. So it's also an opportunity to have like a very cheap placements for the brand partnerships, and for me also to have several partnerships in one video. So they're
how many typically?
In summer it's like 1 or 2. In November, December it can be more than 10. So really varies.
This begs another question, which is how many different offerings do you have for potential advertisers? Because there's blog, there's Instagram, there's like standalone YouTube videos, there's this news show, there's like probably bits where you can get a package of different ones, but not that one. I don't know, maybe it's like kind of so many permutations and different little packages that it doesn't make sense to say, but like approximately how many different packages are you offering?
Right. I have like in my media kit, I offer packages. So because that's always the easiest thing to say, these are my packages and this is what they cost. So this is where we start normally for negotiations. So I have XS, which is only Instagram story. I have S, which is Instagram story and reel. I have M, which is like a short YouTube integration, but not DIY related. So I can use the content for blog and reels and stuff, but not having the brand integrated. So like I'm having a cooperation for years now with like a cleaning company, like doing cleaning products, and they are like having this like blog in my YouTube. It's normally like vlogs, and then I'm talking about like my daily life and crafting stuff, and then in between I'm just cleaning something. So, but I can still use the content from the YouTube channel for the other platforms. Then there's the XSSM, then there's L for YouTube and everything else. So it's YouTube, blog, reels, stories, and everything like from one production. I'm always trying to be very efficient in production. So I'm doing this one production and think about all the platforms that the content has to go to. And then there's usage of rights. So if they want to use the pictures or like parts of the videos for campaigns and stuff, they can also buy the rights for that. So there's basically 4 packages plus the idea of buying rights. But also then, of course, they say they want me for like a workshop and stuff, or they want to mix and match and stuff. So, but these are more the 4 most common packages I have, and it helps them that I give them this like chart and they can choose and they know the prices, and then that's pretty good. Because it used like when we started doing all these brand partnerships, people say you negotiate every time, and but it's very easy for me to just have the prices in my media kit and say, this is the package, choose one, and this is where we start negotiating.
Yeah, you have enough business anyways. Have you ever wished advertisers would come find you for a change? Google AdSense makes that dream a lucrative reality. By tapping into one of the largest global ad networks, your content can now connect with millions of advertisers competing to reach your audience. That means your ad space goes to the highest and most relevant bidder every time. Google AdSense is built so you stay in control, your readers get quality ads, and your revenue keeps growing. Just ask Nastja, or of Life and Lisa, a North Virginia blogger who said, I'm able to show ads from advertisers I never would have connected with otherwise. That's because Google AdSense gives you smarter ads and better earnings with no extra work. Learn how you can maximize your earnings with AdSense at Google/earn with AdSense. That is GOO.GLE/earn with AdSense. I know that your audience is around 90% female, and I can assume that it is almost entirely in Germany, probably some in Austria and Switzerland. What else do you know about your audience?
It's mainly women, as you said, German-speaking women. A lot of them, or the biggest growth I have in like 45 pluses, also like more like 55 pluses. So it's more like the mid-age and elderly woman who is now having time, or like being a grandmother and starting sewing again, or discovering YouTube, like the silver surfers, as we say.
I haven't heard that.
You haven't heard that?
No, that's good.
No, we call them silver surfers. So a lot of, or like people outgrowing the standard sizes. That's also like a thing in Germany. It started like a while ago that you can buy clothes in, we have 45 as a size, like the maximum, or like 42 even, like the maximum size you can buy in a store. So they are like online, you can find, of course, like for curvy people, but it's like people then have the urge to sew their own clothes because they want it to be in this and that style, and the offering is just very rare. So a lot of people start either because they have children, they have grandchildren, or because they want to sew their own clothes and they have special needs, or they do not fit into the standard sizes or the standard colors even and patterns, because a lot of them are also sewing in very colorful, humoristic, or like big patterns with a lot of things going on. You don't find that at H&M and stuff. So and they're mainly from Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. So they're just rarely like from maybe the Netherlands or stuff. But it's, I guess, mainly then people who also speak German, because I don't want my content to be translated automatically. Nowadays, this is possible via AI.
Auto dubbing.
Yeah, I don't have that. I don't want that, because I want that sounds weird, but I want my community to be German because of the brand partnerships, because I'm working together with brands that sell in Germany, or sell in the DACH region, we call it, Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. And if also going viral often comes with the problem of having like so many followers that aren't from your region. And brands are asking for the demographics. They're asking, where's your community from? And nowadays I sometimes get like, we need at least 40% from Germany. And I was like, I have 90%, like more than 90%, I have 95% from Germany. So that's a very strong, unique selling point. Because like I have the difference that my community is not my not my clients. And I'm basically selling my community to my clients, if that makes sense.
No, totally. Well, that's what the creator does, right? You're selling your relationship with your audience. This is really interesting because I'd wanted to ask about auto dubbing because I know YouTube has had auto dubbing for, I think it was at the beginning of the year they released it, and I was looking to see if I could use it on your videos, and I couldn't. I was like, have I just not figured it out? And so I was wondering if that was specific, which that makes a lot of sense, right? Like you don't need to reach a mass audience, which is what auto dubbing is for. And like, I'm sure there's already so many, like whether it's in English or Portuguese or whatever, I'm sure there's so many creators, I don't know if so many, but plenty creators serving similar audiences to yours, but in different countries. That makes a lot of sense. That then it's like what you're protecting is like you don't need the audience size to grow, because what you need to protect is the percentage makeup of your audience.
Yeah, true. Yeah. And I also don't want, like, it's not my goal to have like the DIY oil empire or anything. Like I've always been growing steadily, and I've never gone, like, not never, but I've not been like viral all the time. So, and this is also not what I want to be. I don't want to grow into like a big company. I just want to have everything steady and to not keep it as it is, because it's still evolving and everything, but I don't want to scale up, basically. Yeah.
Okay. I want to talk about that for a second, because so I was using Social Blade, which is a tool for tracking, follower, the history of subscriber count on social media accounts and such. And so I was able to see 3 years back on YouTube, which you had 191,000 subscribers 3 years ago this month, and you've added 51,000 since then, which is pretty steady growth. But it tells me that you probably had some growth spike earlier on. I mean, going back, your first uploaded video from 11 years ago has, I think, around 170,000 views right now. So that tells me either that you've always been getting a fair amount of views, or that one has just over time gotten a lot of views. But anyways, what I'm curious about is, like, if there was one particular spike that brought you up and then it's been steady growth since then, where did the bulk of your audience come from and when?
Yeah. So that's like, there's basically two parts to it. The good thing about my content, like creating DIYs, is that it's not only relevant now. Mm-hmm. So it's evergreen content. So also if I skip for a time, like, people will still watch my old content. And that's a very good thing about the niche and doing DIY content and doing tutorials, basically. So yeah, the first uploaded video, of course, wasn't spiking back then. It was just growing ever since. And people also, like, especially with the first videos, like, people like to Google, like, what was the first video of? So this is like how they also get there. And yes, I had, like, over the time, it was like, sometimes I had more, sometimes I had less, new followers. But the pandemic time was really, like a peak time. And also the whole branch was like blooming. It was crazy because everyone had time now and they had money and they wanted to sew masks. So, so that was like a crazy time because, like, everyone was sewing. I also did like a tutorial on how to do the masks, and was one of the first in Germany. And then we, like, all of the sewing creators, they did like different patterns and different ways to do it. And there was like, it was really crazy. We had one shop owner, she's normally doing like 3D printed sewing gadgets, so to say. Mm-hmm. But back then she was like building a platform where, like, everyone in the community who sews could say, hey, I'm sewing like 50 masks, who needs them? And then, like, hospitals and stuff could write, like, we need like 200 masks. And this is like, I still get goosebumps when I tell about this because, like, the whole community was sewing so many masks back then. And then we had this point when there were no sewing machines available anymore in Germany. So brand partnerships would skip or pause their cooperations with me because they had no products to sell anymore. We had the same thing with cotton fabric. And with elastics. There was no elastics anymore in Germany. So people came up with a different creative idea how to create elastics. So if you cut a t-shirt in strips, you could use it as an elastic for the mask and stuff. And there was like a point where the community was really, really dense and everyone was like sparking creativity and was trying to help. And everyone was sewing, basically. And so, of course, I also got a lot of new viewers and stuff. And now it got more complicated. You know, people are holding their money back because they're kind of afraid, like what is the whole world situation? Where is it going? People have less money. The pandemic is over, so people do actually spend more time outside. So normally, like the normal sewing cycle is at summer. People watch the videos way less than in winter, because now it's starting again October, November, December. People get creative. They do the presents and stuff like that. Or then in January, they are like having it on their list, like this year I'm going to start sewing. So it's also the spike is still there. Then it's Easter, and then it goes down a little. That's like the normal, like winter is up, summer is down. That's like the normal curve. And yes, it has flattened over time, but I rather have a world without COVID than having this time back. So
yeah, well, specifically, you don't really need your audience to be that big. Like I get, you told me when we first spoke. I mean, your husband is a software engineer. You make more money than him doing this. Like all of this tells, and like you recently built a house. I get the impression your business is doing quite well, and that you are not somebody who needs it to be. You just said you don't need the DIY empire, right? So realistically, like in terms of audience growth, like do you really need it to be bigger, or is it kind of just like we're on autopilot? People will continue to find us on YouTube, and that's great, and that's it.
Yeah, I think like for myself, it would be all right if it just stays like this. But I think for brand deals, it's still important. Like it's still the
you
first
need to
number.
Show growth.
Yeah. And it's also like the followers, that's still the first numbers that brand have a look on. That's just the fact. Afterwards they look into like, okay, what is the engagement, the story views and the views on the separate videos. But the first number they look on is followers. So it's still important. And since everyone is growing and I'm one of the biggest, YouTube channels in Germany, I still have to grow with the others, but that's all right. So,
but that just happens naturally. You're not like there's not much where you're like having to like, oh, I'm going to make this video because I think it will like go. People are going to be searching for this thing. SEO, like
of course. Like right now, I see that the views like decreases a little. They used to be like 50,000-60,000 a video like steadily. Now I have like 20,000 or 40,000 like a video. It's still okay because it's like with everyone, every kind of creator has the same problem, so to say. But of course, we're all still looking for mechanisms to have more followers, but it's also important to have like real followers. So if you have a lot of followers, but they do not engage, So of course I do giveaways and ask them to follow me and stuff like that, and do also like collaborations with other creators. Where I think either I want because I like the creator, or where I think that their community might not know me yet, but they might be valuable for me. So yeah,
that makes sense. In terms of content production, how far ahead are you planning? Like, do you have like a content calendar where like, I mean, you mentioned earlier that pen brand, right? That like it sounded like you've been working with them for years. At the beginning of the year, you'll meet with them and kind of plan out some of the deals over the course of the year. So yeah, how far in advance is your content planned?
That's a good question. I think let me have a look. So I have a content planner. The farthest thing planned is February. I would know. There's something in May.
But it's and for context to the listener, we're recording October 30th, 2025.
Yeah. So I have like saying like something in May, but it's going to be like the closed reel of like a long project. So I'm in like February. Right now I'm planning January and February. So this year is, or where are you there?
And is this planning, like, is the stuff that's furthest in advance, is that tied to specific brand partnerships, or is it tied to just like projects you're working on for you?
No, that's brand partnerships.
Okay.
And then I'm just like, normally, I'm just like putting in stuff like, okay, this is where I should post my Christmas stuff. This is where I should post my Easter stuff. This is Mother's Day stuff, la, la, la. So I put in like the basic themes already. And then if brand partnerships approach me, I can have a look and see, okay, I should maybe do something related to Black Friday and this brand wouldn't fit in there. So I'm trying to shift that. Or I see, okay, this is a match. So I put them on it. And then see that I can, or like just rearrange things and see, okay, I'm doing the brand partnership here and then doing Easter stuff 1 week earlier and stuff like that. So I have this very big content plan. I have it for years now. And it includes, when I'm publishing stuff on the different platforms, but it also includes, and this is the most important column for me when I'm producing things.
Yes.
So I have worked that out like until I think mid-January now, like which day I'm producing things. It's not necessarily the day I'm actually producing the thing, but it gives me a time horizon to see how much I will need to be producing. So if I just put it in my calendar, I don't know like how many, like if I see like a YouTube video, I need like 3 days of production and then it goes to my cutter.
Yeah.
So I put in like these 3 days and I know, okay, in this week I need to produce this video. And I have like all the projects already scheduled in production and I see, okay, right now I can't do anything more in production because I'm already full. And this also allows me to plan vacation and stuff. So I put this like as a blocker and I know that I have to pre-produce or do more live streams because they're easier in terms of production and stuff. So
yeah. Wait, yeah. I do want to know more about the like how you create efficiencies in the production. So there's a couple questions in here. One would be like how many hours of work maybe go into, let's say, an average video that's around 15 minutes long, and it's like
I cannot answer that. Well, it's really so different. It really depends so much. So sometimes people think it's like so much work, especially like, you know, I sometimes like to dress up and to be like I have an alter ego and stuff, and they think this is like so
when you sing.
Like when I sing and stuff. So they think it like takes so much time, but these are normally like the quickest videos because I have like everything in my head planned out and then it goes really well. The longest videos are always these where I show like 5 different DIY ideas or like I have a very complex sewing pattern. Then I need 3-4 days for production. And then I still need the pre-planning, like which fabrics am I using, the brief with a partner maybe, ordering the stuff, writing down everything, like steps, what's going to be like the general structure of the video. If there's like special topics that I have to point out, and then shooting everything, getting it to my cutter. My cutter is doing like 3/4 of my long form videos. So he's not doing everything, but most of the stuff, and it works really well. He's also in Berlin, so I get like all the material on a hard drive and give it to him, and then he's cutting the stuff. And then he's sending it over to me. I'm watching, saying, change this and that, and then sending it over to the partner. Then they want changes. And then, so normally I start a video not normally, but the idea would be to start the video 3 weeks before it goes live.
Yeah.
So that's like sometimes partners say, like especially in Christmas corporations, they say they need it by August because they need the pictures for campaigns. So yeah, I start like normally with Christmas, I start in August. For some brand corporations because they already like they buy rights and they already need the material for their campaigns in front of the release of the YouTube video. So it really depends. Like sometimes I'm releasing on Tuesday and it has happened that I started producing on Monday. Mm-hmm. So it's like really a scope of.
Are you able to like are there days where like, oh, I'm working on 4 different videos and I'm like I've got the machine out and the camera set up right here, so I'm gonna like sew like multiple different things, or you know, here's a day where I'm gonna be filming all this B-roll that's gonna go into 4 or 5 different videos.
Yeah,
are you able to do, or is it kind of like one at a time?
Normally it's one at a time. Sometimes I do side projects. Like right now I have like all the sewing stuff here and I'm doing the basement like for the second channel, but I'm also filming there and I'm like filming like a vlog. So I can film how I film, if that makes sense. Like saying in the vlog, you know, I'm producing this and that video now, it's already out. So I'm filming how I film and
there's like 2 layers going on.
Yeah. It's And also, I'm not a perfectionist anymore. There's this Pareto principle. Do you know that? Like
it's the 80-20, right?
Yeah. You need like 20% of your resources to have 80% of your result, and then you need the rest, like the 80% of your resources for 20% for the last final 20% of your result. So I just leave the last 20%. That's basically the idea. It sounds simple, and sometimes you think like, how would you do that? Like especially like an example would be like if I sew an advent calendar, like sew like little bags. You know, like I have 24 little bags. do I really need to sew those 24 if I do not want to use them privately? Wouldn't it be enough to sew like 5? Then I'm able to sew it. I'm showing it from different angles. And in the final picture, I can show 5 bags. 24 bags would be enough for the picture, like too much. And so 5 out of 24, that's 20%.
Yeah, that makes total sense. I mean,
so
but at the pace you're producing, you have to.
Yeah. It's not transferable to each and every content because I cannot only do like 80% of a jacket.
Yeah.
Even though I just sewed a jacket and the inner sleeve is not attached because I had no time for that. But you wouldn't see that in the end results. So. And there's still like little things that you can shift, or like not making everything perfect. That's like the thing. It's okay. It's okay if the cats are upside down. I don't care. And
it's
showing,
part of your character and part of the fun.
And the people love if I show that to them, showing my mistakes, and like, oh, I'm so happy that like a pro like you also makes those mistakes. Of course I do. And yeah, that really like a lot of, but also the most of the other German content creators, they are doing that and showing their faults. And so you see like everyone is relatable.
That is actually one more thing I wanted to ask about was your community of fellow creators. When we first spoke a week or two ago, you mentioned that you have maybe this like inner circle of 10 to 20 like peers that you are you're in constant communication with, and you guys talk and trade notes. And then there's kind of this larger DIY community that's specifically built up around this yearly crafts fair in Cologne, right? Tell me a little bit more about like, I mean, for an hour, I've been hearing all about how you work and such, but I'm curious, like similarities and differences in how some of your fellow German content creators approach this business.
Yeah, I think it's a very, very special situation because our bubble is very, like we're female, self-employed, creative, creators, and we're connected with one another, and there's like real friendship. I think that's very rare, and I see other bubbles, mainly like beauty and fashion, where there's more like competition. But we really work together. We collaborate a lot. We like our posts, we share our posts, and like also I would do like a video saying, I saw that on the other channel. She did that. It was such a good idea. I'm doing that as well, and I'm adding my idea. So you would just not add your idea and say, this is a new thing, but you say where you got the idea from, and then also link the people there. And also do collaborations, like in the, I'm doing like a business retreat thing. Like it's the second time next year, but we started this year, like 3 content creators were working together, having around 15 young female entrepreneurs and creators, and pushing them, giving them our content strategy, ideas and tips. And there was one participant who has like, it's basically diamond painting, but she wanted to put this hobby into the sewing bubble. And I really loved the idea. And we just launched our own, special edition. So I did all the, like this, wait, can I move that far? Yeah.
I saw these on your Instagram page as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So I sent her the designs, and so these are my designs, and you can, and the idea is also for me that you can actually detach those patches, and they are made from this. Yeah, they are made from. Wait, where's the camera? There. They are made from little stones that you just put on there. So we had this collaboration together, and this is also what happens so often, that people work together because we all have different things that we sell, and different things that we're known for. So I'm known for being colorful, for my humor and stuff. And then sometimes, like, some creators have their own products that they sell. Some are doing more like hand embroidery, or like even machine embroidery, or like cutting plotter and stuff. So we all have different topics that we're known for. They are we have like things in common, and sometimes doing the same stuff. But we are all because we're so creative. We all have our different styles and different topics, and that really makes us it doesn't make us interchangeable. So that's how we can work together very well. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love it. Well, I think we can end it right there. We've been talking for a while. Thank you for your time. This was super fun.
Yeah, thank you as well. I was very happy to talk about this. And let me say again that I'm so happy to be able to do this. This is like such a pleasure, and I really, really, really love my job.
I could tell. It's a good job. Cool. Well, we'll end it right there. Go to, is it DIY
Eule.
Eule. I got to get my pronunciation right here. My German, for the listener, my father's German, and I took German in high school, but it's so bad. Let me try again. DIY Eule.
Yeah.
There we go.
.de.
What was that? Oh, .de.
Yes. .de. Yeah. That's
DIYeule.de. DIYeule.de. Go check it out.
Yeah.
Perfect. Listener, we'll see you next week. Ciao.
If you enjoyed that episode and are looking for something similar, I'd recommend this episode with Sydney Graham. She's another sewing creator on YouTube. A year ago, she had about 10,000 subscribers. She now has over 150,000, and she tells us all about it in this episode here.